morning, guys. This is Alicia from Finish First. Welcome to my humble abode. Today we thought we'd do something a little bit different as far as like nutrition suggestions go. So we talk a lot about eggs and how they're great for you. That was in a video that we did last week, and so we thought we'd give you a little insight as to how to make eggs a little bit differently. So this recipe I got from Bon Appetit, which is a really cool website. It's a really cool YouTube page. I highly suggest you go check it out. It's a different way to cook an egg souffle omelet that I really enjoyed. My husband really enjoys. So it's bringing a little bit of life into your daily morning eggs. We're going to show you how to make it today. Here's exactly what you'll need. So we'll need 3 egg yolks and 3 egg whites. We're going to use some butter today, 2 different mixing bowls, salt and pepper, some chives. You can add in cheese if you want to, that's an option, but I always recommend like an automatic mixer, not a whisk. You can whisk it, but I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. So let's get cooking. Okay, so one of the first steps to making this egg souffle omelet is to separate your yolks from your whites. And there's a few different ways to do this. So you can do like the egg pass back and forth. However, that can be a little tricky, especially if you screw up cracking your egg, kind of like I did. Or you can do like pouring the egg yolk into your hand and separating it that way. But I'm separating the yolks and the whites because what we're going to do is we're going to whisk up these whites so we get a lot of air flowing through them so they become stiff, almost meringue-like, and that'll help bring that air into our omelet. After we separated the yolks from the whites, we're going to beat the whites until they become stiff peaks. So we're looking to incorporate a lot of air. You can do this with like a hand whisk if you have a lot of patience. I, for one, do not, especially when I'm trying to make brunch. So I'm going to use my electric mixer and we're just kind of go at it and see what happens. Just about done. I'm going to give these a check. That's pretty stiff. So this is kind of what we're looking for. This is how we're going to get all that air and that fluffiness into our eggs. So now that we have the whites taken care of, what we're going to do is incorporate our whites into our yolks. And I'm not going to do this all at one time. So I've just stirred up the yolks a little bit here with the fork to get those all mixed together. But what I'm going to do is now stir in the whites, and we want to fold them in. So I don't just want to like go mad and stir, but fold them in so they're incorporated fully into those yolks, and it's going to bring out this really nice like pale yellow color when we're all done incorporating the whites. Incorporated all of the yolks and all of the egg whites, and I've folded them in. You can see this is kind of like that pale yellow I was talking about. So after making sure it's all incorporated, you want to sure you're not just scooping the sides and folding, but we're actually getting like underneath and getting into all those good yummy yolks, because we don't want any of that to be left in the bowl when we go into the pan. We want to make sure that our pan is preheated. I've got my butter starting to melt. It's just on a medium-low temperature right now, and what I'm going to do is I'm trying to butter the complete bottom of the pan as well as the sides of the pan. And we want to make sure we get the sides of the pan so that our omelet doesn't stick to the side, because what's going to happen is we want this omelet to rise kind of like a pancake. So think of it like a pancake of eggs almost. So we want it to get nice and fluffy, but I don't want anything to stick to the sides of that pan. So I'm going to use just a little bit more butter to make sure I'm getting all parts of the pan incorporated so that nothing sticks. And then I'm going to throw this omelet in there, and then we'll go from there. So that's pretty good. I'm going to let that piece of butter just hang out. We'll get this guy in the pan. Make sure we're getting all of it. But see how there's no dark yellow at the bottom of my bowl? That means I got all my yolks mixed in really, really well. So we're going to spread this through the pan. Make sure that's evenly coating the bottom of the pan. Make sure I can get some more out. Alright, so after we get our egg omelet mixture into this hot pan, I'm going to let it sit. So I'm going to season it, some salt and pepper, but I'm just going to let it sit now. So we'll get a little bit of salt and some pepper. And now we wait. So this is the fun part, kind of just watching an egg cook. Our egg has been cooking. The sides have kind of separated from the pan a little bit, as you can tell through here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some butter and just make sure to get the sides of the pan, again, a little bit more, just to keep that egg loose from getting stuck. And then I'm going to try not to drop my butter completely in the egg as well. And then I'm just going to snuggle it right down through there. You can see again it's separated from the sides on all sides now, so it looks like this big kind of fluffy egg like pancake. Our cheese is starting to melt, it's doing really well. I'm going to check the bottom and just kind of see if it's just about time to take it off. So I'm going to make sure we're not sticking to the bottom of the pan. It's got a nice golden brown on the bottom. I'm actually going to let it sit for just a little bit longer, just to get a little bit more crispy brownness on the bottom, because it tastes really good. And that cheese melts a little bit more. And I know what you can already tell, like when I picked that up, it was a little jiggly, and that's okay. This is more of a soft scrambled egg texture, rather than just like your normal kind of solid omelet. So it's going to be a little bit softer, a little bit squishier, and you'll see that even more when I take that out of the pan and put it on the plate. I'm going to take this guy out of the pan and transfer it over onto my plate. Just like so. I'm also going to, just because it is so big, I'm going to score the middle of it with just a knife. So we're just going to cut down the middle and not all the way through. We're going to flip it over. Ta-da. So you see that super fluffy egg? That's what we're going for. And then I'm going to top it with just some chives, because who doesn't love them? And you can put whatever else you want on this. We usually top it off with some sriracha, but this is our super fluffy egg white omelet. Egg souffle. Egg omelet souffle. Egg souffle omelet. That's what this is. For just the normal egg souffle omelet, you're looking at about 28 grams of protein, 32 grams of fat, and 4 grams of carbs. And again, it depends on how many eggs you put in. We put 4 eggs in this omelet. The original plan was 3, but you know, 4 is better. So bigger omelet. But it's going to depend on what you put in it. The butter, because it's not for consumption. I didn't add in the butter to that either, because we're not actually putting butter in the eggs. The butter just goes in the pan. So I'm not super worried about that. But you can very easily calculate it off of just what you would add onto it to enjoy your super soft egg souffle omelet. It's a great way to start off a good Sunday brunch, kind of like what we're doing today. As you can see, I'm still on my first cup of coffee. So I hope you guys enjoy cooking this. Again, this is from this recipe we got from bonappetit.com. Check out their YouTube channel. They've got a lot of really, really good stuff on there. And again, just kind of make it your own, kind of like what we did, and enjoy your breakfast, y'all.